everyone, welcome back to another transit build video. Today we're going to be installing the gray water tank, the Hepvo sanitary waste valve, and permanently installing the strainer on the Rivati sink. Let's do it. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is permanently install the Rivati strainer. You're going to want to pick up from Home Depot this plumber's putty. I recommend the stain-free version so you don't have to clean up any of the mess after you install it. Take a look at the manual and ensure you're installing all of the components in order. From the bottom we have the lock nut, followed by the rubber washer, foam washer, strainer stem, sink drain hole, and then the putty and the sink strainer. While you're at it, make sure you go ahead and clean the sink thoroughly so you ensure a strong and secure bond. You're going to want to take a small amount of the putty, roll it up into a string, and wrap it around the hole, and go ahead and push your strainer as hard as you can onto the sink body. You're going to want to use a sharp edge or a plastic blade to remove any of the excess putty that has squeezed its way out. This is where the stain-free plumber's putty comes in handy. You don't have to spend any excess time cleaning out any of the putty that gets squeezed out when you tighten it using the lock nut washer underneath. And just like that, the strainer is complete. The only thing you have to make sure is the Rivati emblem is straight, and then you can go ahead and install the remaining components. I wasn't 100% sure which gray water tank would best fit my setup, so I ordered two and decided to try them both out. The blue 7-gallon Reliance tank on the left ended up being a little bit too tall for my setup. I didn't end up using this tank, but I would still recommend it for those who can make it work. The body itself is very rigid and strong, so I don't believe it would ever puncture. And the cap has a threaded tap with a hole already cut in for you, so it makes it really simple if you want to connect directly to your drain hose. The 5-gallon tank that I decided to go with has a similar cap, but you have to drill it out yourself. We're going to be pairing the 5-gallon gray water tank with the Hepvo sanitary waste valve. To connect the waste valve to the gray tank, we're going to be using this swivel drain connector, which is basically a 90 elbow down to the gray tank. And the connection is very small and will minimize the amount of space being used underneath the sink. Take note of the orientation of the valve when you install it and ensure that the water is flowing in the right direction. The membrane inside won't function correctly if you install it in reverse. Here's a shot of the dry fit before I cut the hole on the cap. You can see the Hepvo valve eliminates the typical P-trap or water trap design you would see under your sink. This creates a little bit more room for you to store your gray tank or any other cleaning products or trash cans you want to put underneath here. The valve has a little bit of a slope, so you don't have to worry about any of the water getting trapped on the horizontal pipe, and the membrane keeps all the smells from the gray tank from coming back up. This 5-gallon tank will pair nicely with my Northwest Van Conversions 20-gallon over-the-wheel well water tank. I basically have to empty this thing out 4 times before I know my freshwater tank is completely empty. I installed some rubber pads on the bottom to keep it from sliding around when the van is moving. Here's a shot of the gray tank cap with the hole drilled out. I ended up using an 1 1/8" hole saw to do this job. To further secure the tank, I put some Velcro on the gray tank itself and on the wall of the base cabinet, and this keeps everything nice and sturdy and keeps everything from moving around. So you can see once we look in the sink area or underneath the sink, everything is nice and tidy, nothing moves around, and we have a very efficient use of space underneath the sink. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave it down below or send me a message. This was my take on creating a very efficient gray water tank system, and I'll keep you guys posted on how this setup works out in the future. If there's any issues, I will share that with you guys, and see you on the next one. Alright, I hope you guys liked this video, found it informative. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. As always, I'll link to all the products that I used in the description. And stay tuned for the next video. I'm just waiting on some parts to come in, and we'll officially start the freshwater side of the plumbing system. See you guys next time.